Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Wreaths and Things. I'm excited to bring you today's video because I am partnering up again with TMI Gifts, and they have sent me a huge box full of goodies. Deco mesh, ribbons, a wreath attachment that's a bunny. Of course we have to have a bunny for Easter, right? The Easter bunny, yes! I am so very thankful to team up with TMI Gifts and all of the people that work there. They have been so generous with me, so my heartfelt thanks to everybody there at TMI Gifts. And I'm going to list everything right down below that I'm using in the video with the links. So if you wish to purchase those items, you can just click on those links. And if you add in the code DAVE20, that's going to give you a little discount as well. So follow those links and get your products. If you want, that is. Why don't I just get started with this Easter Bunny wreath from TMI Gifts, and I'll show you what I made. Today I'm going to be using a 15-inch work wreath frame with the stems already attached, along with this 10-inch deco mesh. I have a lime green and an emerald green. There's going to be 4 rolls. And 2.5-inch wired ribbon in various colors, along with 1.5-inch wired ribbon, and these cute little sprays with purple, yellow, and this cute little wreath attachment bunny with that pink gingham. And of course, all of these products are provided by my friends at TMI Gifts, so thank you so much. And then some add-ons. I'm going to use these carrot picks from the Dollar Tree. And of course, my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. I'm starting off cutting out my deco mesh, and I'm going to be cutting our lengths at 30 inches. So that's 30 inches for all of the deco mesh we're using today. And just to speed things up a little bit, I'm going to double layer my deco mesh as I cut. All I do is I place one right on top of the other, measure out the 30 inches, and use my rotary cutter to cut it all, and then I just keep going and going and going with that cutting at the 30-inch mark. So for our deco mesh lengths, we are using the Cruffle method today. So deco mesh number 1, there's going to be 18 pieces cut at 30 inches. Deco mesh number 2, 18 pieces at 30 inches. Total pieces of deco mesh is going to be 36 pieces cut at 30 inches. So you're going to need approximately 30 yards. So I'm using 2 rolls of 10 yards per color. So it's a total of 4 rolls. It's 10 inch by 10 yards that I'm going to be using for the Cruffle method today. And here is our work wreath frame. These are a little bit higher and thicker than the normal Dollar Tree ones. The Dollar Tree ones are about half, but we have our little stems already attached with that evergreen, and that is where we are going to place our deco meshes, right in between those stems. Normally I create my own, but this time around I'm going to be using this working wreath frame along with 2 pieces of deco mesh per stem. So I'm going to start off. We have a little curl in our deco mesh, so the curl is going to face up. I'm just going to place a pair of scissors down to make it a little bit easier on me. And I'm also going to be using, you can use either a clothespin or a little clamp like I have here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to unroll such that the cut ends are at the bottom and the manufactured or finished ends are at the sides. And then I'm just going to create a little tube just simply by rolling up that deco mesh. I'm going to place a clamp on it, rotate it, and then I'm going to unravel the rest of that deco mesh. And then I'm going to start creating another little tube just simply by rolling it up right on the other end. Once we have our tube, you're going to just place your thumbs right in the middle, and that's going to be your anchor, and your fingers are going to be free to do the walking. Do you remember that Yellow Pages ad a long time ago? Maybe I'm dating myself. Let your fingers do the walking. That's exactly what we're going to do here. And we're just going to walk our fingers up the center, gathering that deco mesh right where our thumb is. And then once we come to the second loop at the top, we'll take that clamp off, and then we'll just squish it together right in the center. Hold it nice and tight so you can see there is our little ruffle in the middle with our loops at the ends. Now we're just going to go to our stems, open it up a little bit, place that middle port of the deco mesh right in between, and then give it one good twist. Just make sure it's nice and secure, and we have our first cruffle already placed in our frame. Now I'm going to work on our second one. Like I mentioned just a little bit earlier, I'm using two different colors, and I'm placing them in the same stem. So our first step is to create that loop, add that little clamp on there or clothespin. Then I'm going to unravel the rest, create another loop at the bottom, anchor my thumbs, and then what are we going to do? We're going to let our fingers do the walking right down the middle, gathering up that deco mesh. That's creating the ruffle portion of this. Once we get to the top where our existing loop is, we'll just hold that in place, take that paper clip off, and then we'll just squish it all together in the middle, and our ruffles and our loops are all created, making that cruffle little attachment. Now I'm going to place that right on top of our previous one, right within the same stem, and I'm going to attach it just by twisting it. And then of course we'll fluff it up a little bit, and our first cruffle is all created. And I'm going to move on to my second little stem. I'm going to be doing the exact same procedure over and over again, creating those loops at the bottom, ruffling it together in the center, and another loop right at the top. And then I'm going to add those two colors together. And I'm alternating colors. I'm going from emerald green to lime green, and then I start lime green and then go emerald green, just to give it a little bit of interest, a little bit of panache, I guess you want to say. Just that it's not all the same color that's on the top. So it gives it a little bit of interest there. And we have our first layer all done, and I am ready to move on to my second layer where my stems are. So I'm just going to find my first stem right here, and I'm just going to open it up a little bit, and then I'm going to grab those two pieces of deco mesh and repeat that same cruffle method process over and over again, adding those two pieces of deco mesh per stem and alternating the colors and just twisting them right in place. And then I just move on, find my next stem, and then the next stem until the entire second layer is done. And now we have all of our cruffles all in place, and I love this method. It gives you the loops, it gives you the little ruffle, a lot of interest, a lot of pizzazz for that wreath. And I'm going to be using 5 different ribbons today, cut at 14 inches. So all of my ribbon is going to be cut at that 14-inch mark. There's this solid lime green one that I'm using. There's a Happy Easter, kind of like a red, or I should say a pink truck. And then I have this plaid, which is multicolor, which is perfect for Easter, along with this burlap ribbon that is nice and colorful with those eggs. And then a final burlap, which is the white and lime green burlap. All of my ribbon is cut at the 14 inches. So the pink checkered ribbon, I'm cutting 21 pieces at 14 inches. The solid green ribbon is 18 pieces at 14 inches. The Happy Easter ribbon is 18 pieces cut at 14 inches. The gray-white check ribbon is 18 pieces cut at 14 inches. And of course, our last one, the same 18 pieces at 14 inches. So you're going to need approximately 36 yards of ribbon. Once I've cut it all, I'm just going to fold them in half and create little dovetails on all those 96 pieces of our ribbon. It seems like a lot, but trust me, wait until you see the final product. It looks amazing. I'm so happy I did all of this cutting. So I'm going to go through and cut all my dovetails. Now time to attach our little friend here. It comes in 2 pieces. There's a head portion and a leg portion, and they both have wires right at the back. So I'm just going to undo those wires. Once I do that, I'm just going to feed it right through the back, and I'm going to place the head in the center of our wreath such that it looks like her head is poking out. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap that wire right around the wreath frame to make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm just going to twist it a couple of times. And once it's all in place, I like to add a little electrical tape. And if you don't have electrical tape or never used it before, I love using this for this exact reason. It's stretchy tape. You can wrap it around. You can pull it. It's perfect to wrap that wire around so you don't scratch your door, you don't scratch your wall, or you don't scratch yourself either. So it just covers that up and protects it from all your surfaces. So we have our little head already attached. She's right in the center there, poking through, saying, "Happy Easter, everyone!" And now I'm going to attach the legs using the exact same method, wrapping the wire around the wreath frame. I'm going to create little bundles first with our ribbon. So all I'm doing is I'm placing that ribbon right down in a crisscross pattern. I am using all of the ribbon for a couple of these little bundles that I'm creating. I'm going to create 3 in total, and then I'm just going to squish it right in the center, fold it a little bit, and then I'm going to place this first bundle right below her chin. And I'm just going to wrap that in the existing stems that we have. Give it a little fluff every now and then because we've squished it a little bit. Make sure everything's all fluffy and beautiful. And once that's done, I could see a little bit of that greenery. So I decided to take some of these little styrofoam colorful glitter balls from those sprays and just hot glue them together right in a bundle covering that little evergreen stem. And then I'm going to move on and I'm going to create 2 more of those larger bundles using each ribbon. And I'm going to put one on the right hand side of her face, doing the same thing. And then what I'm going to do for the centers, I'm just going to cut a little piece, make a tube, and then I'm going to hot glue it right over that green stem. So that's all hidden on the side as well. And then I'm going to create one for the left side of her face. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Cut a little piece of ribbon, wrap it up in a tube, and then hot glue it over top of that little green stem so we don't see it. And of course I started fluffing at this point, but I'm not going to show it to you. And then for every other stem that is left, I'm going to just add a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch ribbon. So I'm doing that all along the lower section and all along the upper section as well, filling in those remaining green stems that we have. And I vary the patterns and the colors for each one. Again, I'm using a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch for each stem, just kind of filling that in with all of this beautiful, colorful ribbon. Once that's all done, I'm kind of playing around with placement of those carrots. These are coming from the Dollar Tree. I just take the wooden skewers out and then I just hot glue those carrots down. I used 3 in total and I just placed them randomly around, and then I cut off the little edges of these sprays and I'm just gluing them in individually all around the wreath as well, just adding some more interest, some more color. And look at that. Last one going in, and I am so pleased with how this wreath turned out. You know what? We have to name that bunny. I don't know what the name could be, but we have to. I've got also a lot of questions asking me about how to hang the wreaths, and I typically use a wreath hanger. Now this square portion, that goes on the door, and then there's a little hook on the end, and that's where you hang your wreath off of. Now I have these little furniture pads on mine just so it doesn't scratch up my door. A great way to keep, your door from getting scratched. Dollar Tree also sells them. They're a little bit flimsier, but hey, they do the job. They have that square portion at the top for your door, and then of course on the opposite side, they have that portion where you can hang your wreath. So if you haven't seen these, ask your manager at the Dollar Tree. If they have them, they work great. And a little tip and a little trick that I usually do is I will take some coordinating ribbon or ribbon that I've used for the wreath. I'll cut off a piece, and then what I do is I just hot glue it right onto that little metal wreath hanger. It's nice and easy, it's nice and quick. You don't have to worry about being too particular because most of it is going to be hidden. At least the bottom portion is anyways. I just wrap it around using my hot glue gun. And of course, the beauty part of this is you can totally take this off and use it for another ribbon. Once you're done using it, you can take it off. The metal and the hot glue, it just comes apart nicely. Of course, you can see that one end is a little bit ragged, but we're not going to see it. It's all good. The main part is all covered with that coordinating ribbon, and now we can use it to hang this gorgeous little Easter Bunny Cruffle Method wreath. I'm thinking her name could be Gwen. What do you think about that? Gwen the Easter Bunny or something like that? Let me know in the comments down below what fun name we can name her. And here she is hanging on our door. I just love the green background, and there's our little door hanger. I love the green background and how it really makes that pink and white bunny just pop. We have all of our ribbons in there. We have those carrots in there. Just a spectacular, wonderful wreath for your front door. Thank you so much for watching and joining me today while I created this little Easter Bunny Cruffle Method wreath. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.